Hi, everyone, and welcome back to Phantasmal Forest. This is our D&D show with a couple college students, studying media studies and playing Dungeons and Dragons. It's a great combo. Last time we left off, you guys had just been attacked by a wolf during the middle of the night, if I'm correct. Yeah, very fun.
Yeah, it was like not disintegrating, but
funky.
The yellow fungus,
yeah, damaged somehow in a weird way, somehow related to that fungus you might have seen on the road coming in to town. But you still got, let's see, that was like 2 days of travel that we did.
Yeah, I went on day 2.
Yeah, and it's going to take you about 3.5 to get where you're going. So this next day, you can get up and pretty much do, another day of horseback travel.
Yeah,
let's go.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's do it.
So the next day of travel goes pretty uneventful. It's a pretty easy day of travel. But you're actually getting to a decision point. So a little bit of history about this continent. Well, Oliver and Balthus, you guys would know this. Miria, you probably wouldn't know anything that's going on. So for you, they're just suddenly like, oh, now we have a big choice to make. And you're like, why can't we just go on the road that we've been going on for the entire time? This continent is split up into 3 different countries. And there's this kind of point right in the middle where it gets really skinny, where all 3 of them touch. Right now, you're in kind of the largest of the 3 countries called Arzanad. And then you're going to Talfin, which is on the west side. I know directions. It's on the west side of this. So the trade route that you go through actually would take a detour up through the 3rd country of Foro and then back down. So you'd be crossing 2 borders to do that, and it would add about half a day on your journey. The upside to that is that it would be through a town and like a residential area and pretty easy to travel because it's a well-kept route. It's a little bit faster to go the direct way, so to just cross one border and kind of go up straight through from Arzanad just straight to Talfin, but you're going to be going through a really big stretch of grass. So it's going to be probably as tall as your horses, at least, which is fine. You can navigate it, right? But you've had some problems in the past with animals in the grass, so you don't really know how that's going to affect it, but it will be about half a day shorter. You could still make it in time for the storm that's supposed to come, but it's the difference between 3.5 days and 4 days.
So we want to get there fast, but is there any complication with, going border to border, switching between countries? Will we run into any problems?
I have not been outside of Arzanad, but I do not believe so from what I have heard.
Okay. In my many battles, well, the countries seem to be okay. Just as long as you don't cause any trouble, they won't cause you any trouble. The days of them fighting are long gone.
No slowdowns at the border.
Not that I can think of, unless things have changed since my departure.
I will say I'm not super equipped to fight more of the disintegrating animals. So perhaps we should go through a town.
I agree. I'm quite concerned about that. I'm talking a lot about things that I don't know very much about, but it feels like if it was a longer issue that I would have read something.
If anything's as tall as me, it's an issue. So we should go to the town instead.
I'm
Oliver, do you want to make a history check for me?
I would love to make a history check for you.
I can also say them out loud. So that anybody who's listening could hear how they're spelled.
You do this, yeah. Let's hear it.
So Arzanad is Arzonad. That one's pretty easy.
I was close.
The country you're going to, Talfin, is Talfin, and the 3rd continent, the place about this where you were hanging out for those last couple months, is Foro, Forro. That's a country. Sorry, did I say continent?
You did say
continent. Continent.
We're all on one continent. It's one big continent. The name of it is Erdwar. Erdwar is the continent.
And we are on Talfin right now?
You are...
We are on Arzanad.
We're on Arzanad, yeah.
We're going.
So you're
through
either
Talfin,
you're going to Talfin for sure.
and then we're coming back.
Yeah.
Presumably, unless something goes wrong.
All right, awesome. Barring any horrible misfortune.
So you're actually going to make a shortcut through like another country, basically. You're just like hopping around the border.
In style.
Border hopping.
Border hopping for sure. Yeah, what's up?
For that history check, I got a 14.
14. You definitely haven't heard anything like this happening. There's always been kind of instances of wild animals or like sometimes magical beings like in the really tall grass where they can hide pretty well, but it's never on like you don't know anything about any kind of yellowish hue. You decide to take your turn and you continue following this kind of well-trodden path up, and you can see there is a guard station as you're going through, but they just take a look at you. You're not bringing anything huge. This is more for people who are trading large quantities of materials who would really need to be checked out by the guards, but they just kind of wave you through. It's not a huge deal. When I said you would be trekking your way through a city, like this is a huge city. Miria, you have not seen anything like it. Tall buildings, cramped spaces, people everywhere.
How are our horses doing?
Boy, oh boy.
Your horses, are all right. I assumed you had been taking care of your horses.
I mean, with the space, right?
Yeah. It's a little weird, definitely, to ride through the streets. There is a moat, a pretty substantial one, that surrounds the city that borders here. So kind of after crossing, on this, kind of a wooden bridge that goes around, you might try to either kind of on the outskirts of the city, you could swoop around pretty easy, or you could, take a slower pace directly through on some of the larger streets, could handle traffic on horseback, but you might have to, you're not getting through any alleyways unless you want to be really challenging.
Do we have time to stop, or are we going to miss our window?
I think we're on a bit of a tight schedule. I think it's
Unless we absolutely have to for like supplies, which we seem to be fine on.
Or maybe one thing.
Maybe.
Miria is new to.
Very true.
Do I
can
see
explore
Suzanne, as we're going through, do I see anything that looks like a thrift shop, a junk shop, or a music shop?
Can you make a perception or investigation? How much time do you want to spend on it?
It's as I'm going by on the horse. So
I would say perception then.
Perception? It's probably, I got a 16 plus, I got a 19.
19. So the district you're passing through happens to be one that's a little bit more agriculturally focused because it is so close to the kind of lush green lands of Arzenad, because you're kind of right on that border. They kind of take advantage of that, like the good soil, and this area is more in charge of producing food for the city. And you don't see a ton of music stores or anything like that, but you do find one place that is selling thrifted or hand-me-down clothing. There are a lot of very functional pieces, overalls, boots, big thick shirt, good material shirts. I almost said flannels. This isn't modern day, but like something akin to that you work in, and that is a tough, hardy material.
Do they have any trinkets or objects, junk, tchotchkes?
Yeah, sure. My gut instinct is to give you a water divination rod. You know those ones that
I would love a water divination rod, please.
Like the people that they douse with for water.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm going in the shop. I hop off my horse. I'm just 5 minutes. I'll be back. I run in. I'm just like.
So if you can picture kind of basic farm level equipment or kind of odd farmhouse trinkets, I'm sure you could.
Very exciting to me. I've never seen this stuff before. How much for the thingy? Water divination?
Use an old man at the counter just looks at you and gold.
Sold. 1 gold on the table.
Have a good day then.
You too. I run back. I hop on my horse. I got a thing. I don't know what it is.
It's garbage.
Amazing.
I face palm again.
Definitely not worth the gold. Um,
I'm ready to go on. I've had my fun.
yeah. You continue out, through the other end of the city, crossing over another kind of bridge that looks like they're built to be easy to kind of take on and off. You know what I mean? Like we're able to take these off when they're all about protecting themselves. And you make your way into Talfin. Now, there was no really hard border on your way in to Boro. You didn't have to go through a lot of precautions. And there also wasn't any sort of like demarcation, you know what I mean? Other than you knew the guard star was stationed there, but the grass kind of continued softly into the next field, and overall it's the same land. That is not really the feel you get here. It's like pretty well measured outside of this strip of moat. All the wildlife there kind of suddenly dies, and there's this flat dirt area that kind of extends towards you. And it is struggling trees in dusty soil, light brown, kind of arid, as far as the eye can see, forward to a river in the distance. And you are now in the third country of the day. It's going to be close to dusk now. The light's kind of changing and shifting, and you can see the moons coming out, and the light from the two moons in the sky is kind of illuminating. You see these wisps of smoke being illuminated in the light of the moons, and it's a lot of smoke. It's a wall of heavy, dark, gray smoke. And you're getting a little bit concerned about this fog. You're like, oh gosh, do we really have to go into that? Wasn't that the whole point of the storm coming?
So when is, just to refresh everybody's memory, not just mine, of course, when is this storm happening?
I don't think it was supposed to have happened yet. I think we were just cutting it a little close, but getting there in time.
It matters not, as long as we're able to get there.
We're waiting it out. Can we see the mountain through the smog?
Yeah, the mountain range is pretty far away. You've been told you're kind of going right to the edge of it. So you're going to hit kind of the corner of the mountain, maybe some hills, but you're not going to have to climb what is a pretty, actually impressive mountain range. Now that you're getting a little closer, you realize it's very big. And you thought that city had big buildings. This mountain, it's huge.
Are we just going through the smoke? We're going to breathe it. We have to get there somehow, yes?
All right. I guess I can be the guinea pig then. So, all right. I get up I get up from, I suppose I was sitting. So I get up and just try to casually like walk towards the smog. I have like weapon seed, but
You're getting off your horse.
Yeah.
Stretching, grabbing one of your long sword and just walking in.
Just
to check. Yeah. What?
Malthus,
what?
What if there's a word for activating the rope from the ring?
Yeah, you can make it up.
Loopy time? I say loopy time.
Loopy time?
We're gonna make a loop with it.
All right, loopy time it is.
And I say, Balthus, before you go in, in case something happens, what if we could tie a rope around you and pull you out?
That'd be a great idea. Yeah.
You're knocked unconscious. So I do that.
All right. You look at your ring and you just go, this is going to, you're like, oh, this is going to be so cool. I'm going to tell so many stories about this. And you go, loopy time. And then you kind of grab the little end of the rope that's embroidered on there, and then you pull your hand out, and it's just hempen rope is following your hand from the ring, and you can pull out a pretty substantial piece of it, and you can cut it off, and you just have rope now.
All right, Balthus.
Tie it around.
Do I need to do any checks for that, or can I just tie it around? Or
I mean, do you want to do a check? Do you
sure
want to do dexterity? You're not tying.
Yeah, I guess so. Just to see, in case I screw it up. Yeah, in case I screw something up. All right, cool. So dexterity. Okay. Yeah, 18. Yeah, we're good.
18. Oh, they said 8.
Yeah.
And I was like, ooh.
No, sorry. No, 18.
18.
No. 18.
You know what? I'm sure at some point in the military you learned how to tie some pretty good knots. So you just get it on there. You get your sword in hand and you march confidently into the wall of smoke.
And as I go on this, I'll say like, once
saving throw.
Constitution, you got it.
Yes, please.
20. Okay, awesome.
20?
Yeah.
Yeah, you're fine. You take a breath in and just, it's hot and it's gross, but maybe your cooling breath, you could just get a little bit of it going so that, it doesn't affect you and you seem fine. I mean, it's really harsh on your lungs. And as did you say you were going to say something when you walked in, right?
I was going to say, if I pull the rope twice, that means get me out. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. That's good to establish that.
Yeah.
Yeah. You're okay. Yeah. It's hard. There's like no visibility here. You can see 10 feet in front of you.
Yeah. All right. So, Oliver, Miria, seems okay. Just very hard to breathe. Just harder to breathe. However, seems perfectly fine otherwise. Seems like nothing we can't do.
Are we leaving the horses?
I
did you bring yours in?
No, I don't think I did. So I guess I kind of. How far am I in the fog?
How far did you want to go?
10, 20 feet, just to see if it kills me. Yeah. Yeah. So nothing seems to be any issue. I feel like we should just get on our horses and continue. And just be a little more cautious because it's harder to see.
You want to make a dexterity check on the way out because you're in no visibility right now in the fog?
Yeah, sure.
Just to make sure you don't trip or anything.
17.
17? You're fine. Yeah. You guys you're all worried, then you just hear the clang, 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 clang as Balthus, comes walking out.
Woot, woot, here I come.
And you're I don't know, maybe a half step out of the fog, and you're see, it's fine. And then you feel all of the breath is being sucked out of your lungs. And Oliver and Miri, you feel this too. You just feel this sensation. And everything flies up. All the smoke is suddenly gone and it's been whipped away. And it's in 2 seconds. You just felt almost like it was coming from the ground, some sort of mystical wind just came and swooped everything up and out. And this line of smoke, this physical kind of wall that you'd almost just had to walk into, right? It's not there anymore. And you can see behind you is a field. It's a little town. It's still a little bit off in the distance. You got a little bit of time to get there, but there's 5 buildings. It's little. This place does not look the most lively from a distance. But the smog is gone. Storm has started.
Are we okay otherwise, or?
Yeah, you're fine.
Okay,
It was just so sudden that everything kind of and the air in your body almost followed it. It's this force that's bringing everything up from the ground, and it kind of affected you as it went up and through.
And this is the storm starting, you said?
Yep.
Wow. Let's go save some birds.
Yes, let's go save the birds before we get any more winds sucked out of us.
Yep. And you know that this storm is going to last for 36 hours.
Oh, okay. So it's a long.
So you do have some time. This is something you were told kind of in your brief, is that you have that much time once it starts. So you might have some time. It's pretty late in the night at this point.
Oh, okay. So if it's lasting for 36 hours, maybe we should camp.
Yeah.
How far away is the town?
You could probably get there in another 30, 45 minutes. Not even. Yeah, probably 30.
Yeah, let's do that then. Yeah, head into town.
To the town.
To the town. All right.
Woogie, woogie, woogie.
It's desolate, right? There are so few structures here. But you notice as you're getting closer that the ones that are here, they look pretty sturdy. They're kind of built up, you think maybe against the wind or the smoke or something that kind of is affecting the natural area around here. They seem kind of these are the ones that stayed and the ones that were built pretty strongly to begin with. The centrally located building, there's probably 5 kind of in this big cluster, and there's one big one in the center. It looks like very thick windows, and you can see soft lights glowing inside. And there's a sign, pretty faded, but it says the Traveler's Respite up on top.
Hey, we're travelers. Let's go get some respite.
Yeah.
That sounds good.
Yeah. You walk in to a completely different scene than you just left. It is a warm and inviting tavern. There are circular tables, there are booths, there's a nice looking human woman who's working the bar, and there are patrons of all kinds, families here laughing over a cup of ale, even though it's, a little later in the night. It's still partying hours, and you see, quite a few people in the tavern here, way more than could live in the 5 buildings that you saw when you walked in.
Can I do a perception check?
Yeah, go for it.
That's a 17.
17? What are you looking for in particular?
You tell me if perception feels right. It just seems a little strange. Why are there so many people here? Am I picking up on anything who these people are?
Yeah, it seems really the feeling you're getting here is it seems really domestic. This has a very small town feel. So these people who, despite this being called a place for travelers, it seems like these are all townies. They're all very familiar with this bar. So they definitely do come here a lot. You kind of get that vibe from the familiarity with which everyone, kind of treats each other.
I'm gonna head to the bar.
Yeah?
Me too. Yeah.
I nervously follow, but I'm not old enough in elf here, so I'm seeing if I'll get called out.
Oh, well, aren't you all just the sweetest? We don't get too many people from out of town here. What can I do for you?
I'm 21.
I believe you.
Just 21? You're like a baby.
Elf, I'm... This is a human woman, right?
Yes. Yeah, sorry.
I'm just making it easy. I'm making it interpretable for the human.
Translation, got it. May I have whatever is best? Just a glass.
Sure. We have some wine that is, I don't know. Run you maybe 5 copper for a glass?
Okay.
And she can get you that set up. You have red and white. You have a preference. You have a...
I said whatever's her favorite.
Yeah, she gets you a big glass of a dark, kind of almost purplish looking wine and hands that to you.
I like purple.
Anything else for you or your friends?
The finest ale in the land.
The finest you shall have, sir. 4 copper.
All right.
Less than my wine.
It's not great ale. But it's the finest that we have.
Do you have rooms for travelers?
Yes, we do. Let me find the keys. And she kind of rattles around under the bar for a second, and she pulls up 2 room keys, and she goes, I've got 2 rooms, 5 silver apiece.
I'll take one.
There you go, sir. Yeah, hands you the key, takes the...
I pay the 5 silver.
I guess we'll take the other. For 1 room, I'll pay.
Just kind of slides it to you, winks a little bit.
No. That's all I say. She winks at me. No.
What are you doing in town? What are you doing here? What are you...
Saving birds.
What?
Saving... They're the ones that fly. I was also confused by this, but... You have a mountain, and there's birds on it, and we're going to go get them for, the academy. What is it? Aired? But help me out.
You want the character to help you? Or do you want Suzanne
More
the DM
specifically, she means... More specifically... They mean, we are trying to get some birds for Erdoar in order to fix a sort of issue. I don't know. I was paid. They don't pay me enough.
A very important mission. And that's all that we need to reveal to you.
Yes.
About birds around here, then I think it might be a very important mission.
What do you mean by that?
I, what kind of birds are you catching?
Did we ask?
I don't think we asked.
You did not ask.
Maybe that would have been important. I kind of figured if they need saving, they might be the only birds on the mountain. They're rare birds.
Marin? Mel, come here. And she kind of waves over, and you see these two little boys. They're tieflings. Their horns are just growing in. They kind of have this reddish brown hair. And they kind of like were playing a game with each other at a table in the corner, and they kind of scamper over it, and they're like, "Yeah, Mom, what do you want? Like, what's up? What's up? What can we do?" And she just says, "Just bring them outside really quick and point out the birds to them, and then come back in, and we'll just have a." I'm the only one working tonight, so I can't leave, but I feel like you can handle that question. And so these two, like, cute little tiefling boys, walk you out, and they're like, just chatting. They're like super into finishing each other's kind of sentences. They like have all their thoughts going on at once, and they just kind of answer in that little kid energy. They're like never stop talking, and they're asking you about magic and about your hair and your clothes and everything that's going on. And they kind of walk you outside, and they point up at the mountain, and in the light of the moons at the top, you can see a bird kind of circling. It looks okay. It looks pretty normal size, and then it kind of gets up closer to the top of the mountain. This bird, it's not like a rock, right? But it's got a wingspan that's probably at least 10 feet. And there's just one big bird that's here.
Balthus, what was it you were saying about anything being the size of you being a problem?
I said that in jest. I'm just trying to just keep calm.
Do you think
one of the little boys, Mal, is like, yeah, so that's the big bird, and he flies around here a lot, and sometimes he eats cows, and he's really cool and big, and he flies over there.
Do you think it would eat an elf?
Do you think it would eat an elf? Oh my god. Do you think it would eat an elf? Do you think it would eat a tiefling?
I'm asking you.
I don't know. I don't go on the mountain.
Okay.
Wait, why do you not go on the mountain? Is there something we should know?
I'm 8.
Good point. Would your mother happen to know anything about
you ask her. And then we told to point at the bird. We were told to point at the bird.
Okay, well, thanks. And I pat them each on the head.
They kind of look at you, and then they run off to one of the other buildings. They just, they had their toy, and they showed you the thing, and now they're running off to go do something else.
All right, I'm going to go back back to the bar.
Definitely.
Me too, I'm getting out of this.
Yeah.
She's sitting there, and she's poured herself a little glass of the same wine that you're drinking, and she's kind of like, hey, to the adventurers.
Hey, that's a big bird. I was not aware it was going to be that large.
It's a big bird. You didn't sound like you knew, so I wanted to make sure you were aware.
Now we are.
What you're
Yeah.
doing.
Would you happen to know any more about this bird?
Not really. I mean, it's been here for as long as I've been here.
And how long would that be?
Well, I've lived here my whole life, so not super long in humans. I don't know. 35 years?
Does it ever, the boys said it eats cows. Does it ever, like, is it a problem? Does it attack?
No. I mean, it eats wildlife and things occasionally, but we're not a very. We don't do a lot of the farming ourselves. Generally, when people come through, as travelers, that they'd get in more trouble with things being stolen. But we don't keep a lot of stuff topside.
Where are all the people coming from in this bar?
Underground? What? I mean, where else?
Underground?
Yeah.
Can you show us? Well, can we go? I know you have to work, but
it's where your rooms are.
Nice.
And she can show you briefly a little hatch. It's not like the Underdark that you're used to. It's more like there is a tunnel system built kind of shallowly under the ground, but it has a lot of rooms and systems, and there is quite a lot more actually going on beneath the surface of this town than there is on top.
Nice.
So she can kind of like show you to your rooms briefly, and then she brings you back up, and well, I don't know if you ever ordered a drink, so let me know if you want that or if you need anything else, but please feel free to sit and sip and talk. We don't get people staying here that often, so it's nice to see new faces.
What's your name?
Oh, Elna.
Elda?
Elna. E-L-N-A.
Elna. I'm Mirya.
Mirya, it's wonderful to meet you.
Yes. It's nice to meet you too.
Thank you so much for your hospitality.
Thank you for your patronage.
You guys, I'm kind of worried about this bird.
Suzanne, can you give us I just feel like my notes are limited on what they told us about the breaking character, but what they told us about the bird before we came? Like, we are just wrangling this bird?
They just told you that there was a specific type of bird that they wanted back.
Okay.
They wanted you to take it back to them.
Oh, okay. I thought they wanted the eggs. Might be okay. We have to capture this big old bird.
I mean, either eggs or specimen. I think they just want a.
Okay. Well,
But yeah, you were not told a lot of details, and then you did not ask me any clarifying questions. So this is a lesson the hard way.
In character, my intelligence stat is not that high.
It's I did it a little bit on purpose. It's your first mission. I didn't want to tell you everything because I figured you wouldn't ask. But for next time, you can ask clarifying questions. Obviously, the person who assigned this mission to you had more information than you got from them. So.
Well, hopefully it's the right bird.
And if not, sometimes you just accidentally have to fight a way bigger bird than you. I mean, I don't know if you have to fight the bird, but I do. But
I do.
I do know whether or not you fight the bird.
All right. Well,
actually, I can't anticipate you guys. I shouldn't say that. I have no idea what you'll. I have zero clue what's gonna happen.
I've never had wine before. Am I crunk?
Have you ever had alcohol before?
I've had like a sip.
Yeah, okay. You can be drunk.
No, I'm just curious.
Yeah, let me look up the rule for that.
If she gave me a big one or a small one.
Oh, she gave you a heavy pour.
Give me a big boy. I'm sipping gently.
Okay.
Not going overboard.
So there are a few different patrons around here. You met the twins. There are a few other kind of noticeable things. You notice when you walked in, there is a kind of stage, and right now there is kind of just what looks to be kind of like a bored teenager playing the harp. And there's like a notebook on the ground, and they're kind of like studying, but like while they're doing music, and just providing a kind of general ambiance. There's a table of some men playing dice. There is an elven girl drawing just like scribbling at drawings with a huge feathered quill. Like it's really big. You wonder where it came from. There's some members, who looks like maybe a guard or some sort of station, and there's an old couple who are sitting kind of in the corner. I guess there's more families and stuff too, but those are kind of options for if you want to sit down with someone. That's kind of who's around.
I might go over and sit by the elven girl with the big old pen.
Hi.
I just needed somewhere to sit. I'm new. Did they follow me?
I might see how old the student is, and like if they're close enough to like Oliver's age, you might go sit with them.
You're gonna sit with who?
This kid playing the harp. How old are they?
It is an elf, so I mean he probably looks to be in like regular development. I would say he's probably like 16. So
Okay.
12 years, I don't know, 80. It's all guesstimating, but somewhere around there. He's young, but not like an 8-year-old.
Oliver might be curious, like what he's studying. So
Yeah. We'll do Miria first, and then Balthus. You can decide, who you want to talk to after.
Hi.
Hi.
I just admired your drawing from across the room. May I see?
Thank you. She turns it around, and it's like a drawing of. It starts off like a plant, and then it just becomes really like erratic up towards the top, and there are all these kind of like small doodles kind of surrounding it in these kind of like really sketchy way, and she kind of presents it to you like.
Oh, that's very cool. I also draw, and I take out my little notebook, which is mostly writing, but in the corners there are some of like the worst drawings you've ever seen. Of just like, there's one of Oliver, there's one of Balthus, there's one of me and the horses, but they're really bad.
Those are so wonderful.
Thank you.
They really capture the like emotion that you feel when you see a horse. Like that's it.
I also feel emotion when I see my horse. Wow, what's your name?
Oh, I'm Melnar. How you doing?
It's very nice to meet you. I'm Miria.
Nice to meet you too. And she like reaches out to shake your hand. Do handshakes. No.
Do you live here?
Yeah. Well, yes. Sometimes.
Sometime. Where else do you go?
Well, sometimes I stay with my uncle. And he lives at the beach.
Cool.
But sometimes I'm here.
Oh, neat. You've got a cool city around here.
It is pretty cool. I kind of miss the sunlight sometimes because we don't get it all the time. But, I mean, it's frequent enough, so it's fine.
What's with the, air smoke thing?
I don't know. I think it does that just when it gets too foggy out, maybe like once a month.
Huh. It's just fog? Like, fog is water. It looked, brown and weird.
No, there's like a factory a couple miles away that like does the fog.
What do they make there?
Swords and shields and sometimes like those big things that throw cannonballs.
Oh, a trebuchet. Yes, maybe. I don't know.
I think that's it.
Interesting. Well, I'll let you get back to your drawing. It's been very nice talking to you.
Wait, can I draw you?
Yes. Can I draw you?
Oh my god, can we trade?
Yes, we can trade.
Oh my god. Okay.
Okay. And then I start to drawing her.
Make a dexterity check.
Dexterity? Great. Oh, well, I got a 9 plus 3. I got a 12.
I got a natural 20. So first of all, your drawing is pretty good. Let's see. Let's talk more about what this girl looks like. You knew she had the giant quill. She has this kind of, tanned skin. It's a human girl. And this kind of like golden coppery hair. And when she looks up at you, you realize that like one of her eyes is blue and one of them is blind. Like she's like, it's like kind of clouded over in one eye. And so you kind of capture that all in your drawing, and it's very obvious that it's her. So that's really good, and it's a lot better than what you've done before. So you feel, pretty proud of yourself for that drawing. It's not perfect. The other proportions aren't great, but if you put the two together, you'd be like, oh, I could see what they were going for. Like that. You could make the connection. Whoosh. Which she comes up with. She had been drawing kind of with this big, quill and just black ink before, but she actually pulled out a couple paints as well because she's trying to show off a little bit. And she sketches this beautiful drawing of you that really looks so just really accurate and just a very nice image of you and your skin and your hair and your beautiful like big mushroom hat. And then she opens the paints and she starts painting kind of around the outside and in these details, and you realize that in the outside of what she's painting has these like drawings and these runes and this kind of like hellish fire, and it's got images of there's a field in the back that's just full of dead plants, and it's just this kind of really depressing backdrop of desolation that she has painted behind your portrait.
That's a neat background you did.
Oh, it's a yep.
Where do you get your inspiration for that?
I could just see it when I looked at you.
Okay. Cool. Neat.
Can I have a piece of your hair?
No, you can't have a piece of my hair. Here's your drawing. Thanks. I give her my drawing. I push back the chair, and I'm going over to listen to the harp player.
Okay.
I'm gonna sit next to Oliver and just pull my hat down a little bit.
Yeah. Oliver, you go over to the harp player, a young elven boy.
I'm going to try to take a look at what he's reading. Is he reading music or is it studying at the same time?
Yeah, so as you get closer, you look at it and it looks like math. Like there's like equations written down.
I say, I remember when I was studying this, I don't remember how to solve it, but you'll get there.
And like without even stopping playing, he just kind of looks over you and is like, yeah, I mean, it's all kind of elementary. I'm just studying for, my entrance exams, so.
Oh, yeah, me too. I learned it a long time ago. I'm sure if I was just looking it over like you, I would have no trouble.
Cool.
What's the song?
It's, I don't know, whatever the guy who used to play here before me played, and I just kind of heard him doing it and was like, yeah, I'll play that. That's fine for the tavern.
Is it the only song you know? Are you?
No, I mean, I know some like folk songs and stuff. Why, are you requesting?
No, I was just wondering if that you're just more of a math person, but you know other songs too, so you're kind of, it's math and music are like the two only things you're good at. And like you would, just, you have what you're comfortable with and what you know, but.
Do I know you?
No. No, I was just looking, and it just seems like a lot that you're doing. We just all have our own skills and things that we're good at, and I could definitely, I have other things that I'm really good at, so. Oliver has realized he does not understand this math at all.
I love this so much. You've puzzled me as a person. The Dungeon Master in me is so proud of you for like having this long conversation. But the Suzanne was like really struggling to like come up with the response. I'm like,
oh, I'm sorry.
No, it's perfect. It's great. I
Testing
love it.
the DM.
I gotta expand my horizons. This kid's like, all right. Love that for you.
Yeah. Well, I'll leave you. Clearly, you're studying. You need some studying, and that's okay. So I can.
Miria comes over, like huddled behind the giant mushroom, like clutching a piece of paper.
Miria, how are you doing?
Great.
I was just helping this kid out a bit, but you seem a little frazzled.
No. Great. Awesome. Yep. How are you?
I'm okay. I was just talking to this child who is, needs to do some studying, but all right, if you're sure you're all right, but we can talk if you need.
No.
Oh.
I'm so good. This place is cool. This place is really cool. They have underground rooms. Maybe I'll go down there. Yeah. I'm gonna go to bed soon. Just a headache. What's the guy on the harp playing? What's the song like?
It is pretty simple. You can tell he's not paying a super amount of attention. It sounds just like an old kind of folk song that, long since forgotten the lyrics, and he just kind of plays the tune.
Despacito, my favorite song.
Despacito. Oh no.
Hey, you want to dance?
Who are you asking?
Oliver, because he's next to me.
I could dance. I don't know many I don't know the more looser styles.
Oh, you don't need to know anything. You just get up, you just move. And I do. I get up and I'm just sort of swaying to the music, just closing my eyes and taking some deep breaths.
Are you trying to show off a little bit? You make it a performance check, or you're just kind of moving?
Absolutely not. Just dancing for the feeling of it.
Oliver gets up too and is putting in an effort, but is definitely a little uncomfortable. Would maybe make a performance check of, trying to look comfortable.
Yeah, absolutely, go for it.
That is a 12.
Okay, it's not the worst, but I think your movements are a little kind of robotic. Like you're just trying to mirror what Miria's doing, and you're not putting as much kind of of that kind of soul into it, but it's not the most embarrassing. Balthus, you've just been sitting here. Is there anyone?
Yeah, I was just witnessing all of this.
You're just sipping on your ale and watching.
I'm just I'm enjoying this. I am enjoying this, and I start doing hey, cheers, and it's clapping along to whatever Despacito harpsichord is playing. So yeah.
Yeah, is that all you wanted to do for tonight?
Yeah, if that's all we got. I'm gonna definitely, when I come back to Oliver, I have downed all of my wine. And am just swaying.
I believe you have disadvantage on all checks and on all, when you're drunk, you have disadvantage. You can't be frightened. You're immune to fear. Okay. And you have disadvantage on all ability checks.
Yeah, that's cool.
So not attack rolls or saving throws, but ability checks.
Just dancing for fun, and then when I'm done with that, I'm gonna go to bed.
All right, sounds good.
Oliver's a little tired out.
Well, Balthus is fine enough. He was just enjoying himself with. So, yeah, I guess we all.
When it comes time for the night, Miria has retired to one room, Oliver the other. Which room do you knock on the door?
Probably the one, probably Oliver, because I'm a little worried. They're just gonna be like spread out all over the bed, just like fast asleep, just like passed out. I feel like Oliver would be a little more sober enough to have space. Like I'm just like doing my own thing, setting up. Was today a good day for you, Oliver?
It was a fine day. I have some concerns about the bird. I got a little caught up in the excitement of the journey that I did not think to question my capabilities. Not that I'm very capable, but I think birds are something large birds are something I'm unfamiliar with. Messenger birds, I have so many.
You see, back when I was in the army, one of our main tasks was to take down this big bird back on the edge of Foro. And so one day, me and my men go up and we look at a bird about twice the size of it. And I'm like swinging my arms, like I'm very engaged in this story. So I'm like, there's this big bird about 50 feet in the air. It's like, and it started breathing fire on us. And you know what I did? I looked up and said, "Oh my goodness, that is super big." And my colleagues looked at me. And my colleagues looked at me like Oliver. I just imagine like I'm just doing this, and Oliver's just like, It's like it's like my kind of way of like trying to ease feelings. But we were able to kill it after losing. And then I transfer and trail off. After we ended up defeating it, and we escaped, and we marched victoriously back to camp, and it was nice. And if I can do that, we can do that. I'm not a very good.
Can you make a deception check for me, Skylar?
Absolutely. That's actually a 15.
Okay, Oliver, insight.
That is also a 15.
Something's a little fishy here. You're not sure what, but he's maybe not telling the whole truth.
I appreciate the story of your battles. I'm still a little concerned, but
We are powerful. Oh, sorry.
You took down this bird with a lot of soldiers.
Yes,
and the bird went down, but
it went down. But you know what we didn't have? We didn't have magic. And with your magic and Miria's also magic, we can he's like, I have no idea what Miria has. It's like, with Miria's also magic, we are perfectly capable of defeating this bird, because all we had were arrows and I suppose my ice fire, but I can only do so well against a bird that breathes fire. So
I will do my best with my magic missile. I don't want to. We also can't kill the bird. I'm trying to find, in my mind, a way where we can balance both not killing the bird, and not having it kill us is the big one that I am thinking about.
I suppose those difficulties will be faced in the morning. But for now, let's get a good night's rest. In your
all right. You guys all take a long rest.
Tent ruins.
You guys all take a long rest in your chambers. They're not the nicest, but they're passable. You get a good, comfortable night of sleep. And you wake up the next morning, and it's still clear air. It's sunny. It's hot out. And you just have a little bit further to go before you make it to the kind of foot of this mountain.
So we're taking our horses, and then along the mountain, what is the ridges looking like? Is that like can the horses go up the mountain? Is there a path, or is it like something where we'll be leaving them?
So as you get a little bit closer, you notice that there is no real direct path up. You see bits of rope and other kind of bits of rock fall that kind of show how people have maybe climbed up here before. But there is no kind of pathway you could lead your horses up. It's about between you and the kind of, you see the kind of cavernous entrance to what looks like it goes inside the mountain. And it's about a 60-foot climb before you get there.
And we'll have to leave our horses here.
Probably.
Okay. And are we at the mountain yet? Like, it didn't take too long to get there?
It's probably a 20-minute ride out of the town.
All right, yeah. We're on our way. Just like came out of the inn that morning, just like, oh, the sunlight. Yep.
Yeah. You put on your big mushroom hat to block it out.
Oh. Need some
something you didn't anticipate, the kind of white frills underneath the mushroom and the white of your hair kind of reflects the sun back up into your face a little bit.
Oh, why?
Are there extra supplies we should get for the mountain?
We should get a net to catch this bird.
A net would be good.
That would be good.
How big would this net need to be though? We've seen the bird; it's massive.
Well, you said you caught or you took down a big bird. Did that didn't involve a net, or it did?
It involved a lot of rope and a lot of men dogpiling on the bird.
We don't.
Well, I have rope.
Have that? You do have rope.
That's
Do you
true.
think you have enough rope, Oliver, to contain this bird?
What I was told about this, the ring, is that I can get 300 feet, and it's a quite large bird, but I think would maybe be enough.
300 should be enough. I think
Seems good enough to me.
yeah, and yeah, something to carry the eggs in. Maybe. Do we have a box? Can we say we already have that?
I think we said we had a box. Yeah.
Got a box for the eggs. Awesome.
I think we have a box.
Sure.
Yeah.
You have a box for the eggs.
Box for the eggs. Egg carrying box. Everyone's favorite.
Egg carton.
Big egg carton.
I think we're ready.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. It's a big egg carton, but the egg sizes are like the egg holes are like this big, and you like wonder why you didn't realize it was a giant bird when there's like a huge thing.
Yeah. All right. Let's be off then.
All right.
Yeah.
You're gonna take your 20 minutes out of town. You tie your horses up, leave them some water, and
I'll come back for you, Apples.
Look up.
Mackenzie, and I,
Bye, horse.
To the horses and just stroke Mackenzie's mane.
And that's right. We never named Skylar's horse.
Name
I had a name for it. You just didn't.
Goodbye, horse. Goodbye, horse. My horse is named Horse. It's like I'm terrible at names.
Sounds good.
All right.
Great. So you kind of look up at the big cliff that's above you.
Okay. It's big.
I guess we just start climbing. Do we? I roll for a perception check just to see like what's the easiest place to climb.
Sure. Why don't you make an investigate? Actually, why don't you make survival check for me?
Survival check. All right. Cool.
Yeah.
Survive.
Is this something we could all?
Okay, got it. Yeah.
Yeah. You want to help?
Yeah.
So you can either roll separately, or you can assist Skylar by giving him advantage. So you'd roll twice and pick the higher one. So if you want to say you're doing something to kind of assist Balthus as opposed to kind of making your own check.
Yeah. It is just discussing, like, telling Balthus what my elf eyes see helpful.
Yeah.
What do your eyes see?
All right, cool. So roll twice, pick the better of the two.
Yep.
Awesome. 10, that's pretty bad. And 7, that's even worse. Okay, great. I guess 10 then. Oh, no, sorry, I forgot to add the 1. 11.
11.
Yeah. Mm.
You know, I don't know if you've ever been rock climbing.
Was not really trained to do that.
You're kind of like, well, there's this area that kind of juts out this way out of the rock. Probably shouldn't climb that. That's all you can really. You're kind of like, okay, so we either go to the right or the left of that thing, so we can avoid the really weird bump. And that's kind of what you've figured out.
I'm pretty dexterous, so I am just gonna jump on up there.
Miria's like, that sounds like a you problem.
Yeah.
So I would make climbing an athletics check.
What about an acrobatics check?
I don't know if I'm gonna let you backflip up a mountain, CJ. I just don't know.
But
What do you mean you can't do? You can't somersault up the mountain?
I can't be.
If you're a monk, maybe you could give me some monk. You know what I mean?
I can't be dexterous and nimble and scurry on up and sort of leap between the little handholds.
If you want to do dexterity, I'll give you disadvantage.
Oh shit! Well,
They're an athletics roll normally.
I'll do an athletics roll.
Hmm.
All right. Hey, well, I got a 12.
12?
Better than
Okay.
him.
Yeah, you managed to get up, I would say maybe halfway. You're going to take another push to get to the rest of the way to the top, but you could do it.
I suppose that I just kind of.
What's really helping you on this, especially on this lower section, is the kind of remnants of ropes and handholds that other people have made as they've climbed this before.
Yeah, scurrying.
Yeah, I just I look for like a nearby decent enough sort of climbing path and start kind of climbing. So I guess I roll for an athletics there.
Can I say, wait, about this? Oliver
Nice, hold on.
says that. Oh, sorry.
Yeah, it's all good. What'd you say?
Oliver tries to stop Balthus, and who has the egg box?
Oh yeah, who is the egg carton?
I assume it's like strapped to someone's back or something.
I guess because I'm like big. Why not, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
My athletics is a -2, so Oliver stops Balthus and says, you seem like a beefy dragonborn. Do you think that you would be comfortable climbing with me inside of the egg box?
I'm picturing the egg box as like one of those like big kind of like sashes that like a mom wears to like tie their kid on their back, maybe is like the best way to think of it, because maybe that's the only way you weren't tipped off that this was going to be a huge egg, is because you kind of had like a baby sash for it. And so you could totally 100% put Oliver in that baby sash. He would fit.
All right. I look and I just look at him and say, fine, get in.
All right.
So I turn around and let him hop, I guess, crawl into the egg carton.
Like huddled, like
yeah. Do I need to roll for anything, or
go ahead and roll? I'm gonna raise your difficulty a little bit.
Okay. I got a +6. Wait, what should I roll for?
Athletics.
Just regular? Oh, athletics. Okay. 14 + 6 is 20. Nice.
Yeah. You make it up. You get even a little bit further than Miria did. There's still a little bit more at the top, and it seems that this is kind of crumbled a little bit from someone before you. So there's definitely less handhold. So that getting up the second half is going to be a little bit harder. But you do have kind of a head start on Miria for that section.
Mm-hmm. Cool. And I guess we're on our way.
Peeking out, his fingers looking down and then covering his face.
Make a
okay. Yeah.
Oh, make a wisdom save?
Oh.
Do it.
It's a 14.
All right, these heights are really scary, but you're not so scared that you're gonna throw up, at least, because you like for a second you were like, oh my god.
Oliver, So I
Yes.
call it, Oliver, would you be able to spot the bird from any high point that I can reach? Or if you look out and see, can you spot the bird anywhere?
I can take a look from a high point, yes.
Perfect. I suppose I go to the nearby high point, I guess, and roll for another athletics check.
Yep, one more for me.
Then plus 6. 17.
You're climbing up and you get almost all the way there, but you just can't get your hands to get like purchase on the ledge. So you're kind of like scrambling at that kind of last moment. Oliver, you're sitting strapped to his back as he's kind of scratching at the wall and he's not connecting with it right now. You're
Oh shit! Why don't I pull out some rope?
You still have the rope you used yesterday to tie to Balthus.
Yeah,
I assume
okay,
it's not still just tied around his waist.
Yeah.
I try to loop it around some rocks.
I guess some upper rocks just kind of lasso
Yeah, like
it
an
up.
outcropping. Yeah.
Sure. Balthus, can you make a dexterity saving throw? And Oliver,
Sure.
also make a dexterity saving throw, I guess. It's under duress, so.
What is that? 17 again. That's a good movie. Anyway.
That's enough to stay where you are.
15.
15. You start kind of like tying it onto this ledge. I don't really understand how you're trying to tie a rope to this rock.
Is there in my mind it was like, is there like a piece of rock that's like sticking up and then I could make a loop, loopy time and catch it around a higher rock? Does that make sense? I don't know if I'm explaining it properly.
Yeah, you know what? You can do that. Why not?
Thank you, benevolent DM.
I would say I want a strength check for you to pull yourself up on top of the ledge, kind of like you're pulling yourself out of a swimming pool, like that kind of.
Okay, that makes sense.
And Balthus, by yourself, you'd climb up the last bit of this. I think that saving throw was mostly to make sure you didn't slide down this cliff any further. Miria, you've just been chilling.
I'm just watching this happen.
Maybe there's some cool fungus, on this part of the rock, and so you just started looking at it for a second.
I got a little distracted.
Not yellow, just normal.
You wanted a strength roll?
Yeah.
It is a 4.
Oh no. So you've got like your elbows out and your hands kind of flat on the ledge and you're like kicking and you're trying to pull yourself up and then it's not working. So then you kind of lean back and you're like holding the rope this way and you're trying to walk up the side of the ledge and you're just not getting anywhere. So you're kind of out sideways, like just right so close and you just cannot get up.
Okay.
Here you go, Oliver. I've got you.
And you are given some bardic inspiration, and you may, over the next 10 minutes, you can roll a d6 and add it to an ability check or saving throw.
Okay.
Would that work for this instant, Suzanne?
Sure.
It took the 4 to a 6.
Great.
Nope, sorry. You're just still feet moving at nothing. Balthus, you're now standing on top. Are you just watching Oliver like?
I kind of like giggle a little, and then just kind of can I like reach down and just like try here, grab this.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Do I need to roll for that or?
No, I think you should be fine to. Okay, I mean,
cool.
They're right on the edge. So
yeah, exactly. Yeah.
All right, Miria, do you want to?
If he's got it, he's stronger than I am.
Yeah, I'd imagine. Yeah.
Great. How are you going to get up the rest of the way?
Me, I'm still down there. Oh, I thought I got.
You're still halfway up.
Yeah. I'm just gonna keep scrambling.
All right, go for it. Athletics.
Athletics again.
Yep.
And my great and supreme athletics skills. Well, okay, that is a 16. Nope, that's a 15.
Yeah, that does it. You're fine.
Cool.
You scramble up, get the last of the handholds, and just almost in a mockery, you grab the rope and kind of walk up like Oliver had tried to do previously and wind it up as you're going. So that way when you hand it off to him, it's just like perfectly coiled piece of rope.
I'm trying very hard not to laugh.
I take it. My pride's hurt, but mostly I'm glad that I'm not dead.
Yeah. It'll be a story. It's great.
So what do we see at the top of this mountain?
At the top of this mountain is a doorway. Well, I mean, it's not really a doorway, right? It's an entrance into a cavern. It's rocky. It's slim, but you could all fit through. But it's definitely going to be a single file kind of entrance, and it kind of curls into the dark, and it is open before you.
I'm going to wager a guess that this is where we're supposed to go find the bird. But I am not going in there first because I am very small.
Are we doing the rope thing again?
We could do the rope thing.
Tie it around?
Yeah, tie it around, see what happens.
Yeah, well...
What are you tying around?
Wait. Oh, the rope.
What are you tying the rope to?
Me.
Are you tying yourselves together?
Oh, that'd be funny. That would be funny.
That would be good too.
I think we're all
I feel like that would hinder us. Yeah.
Yes, I think we can go in single file.
Does everybody have dark vision?
Baltus, can you see in the dark?
I don't know, actually.
Okay.
I want to say no.
I don't think Dragonborn can see in the dark. No.
I was gonna say I didn't read that anywhere, so yeah.
Both of you elves can see in the dark. Miria,
Yes.
You can see especially well in the dark.
Very good at
Your dark vision is insane.
I
In
will
that
go
case-
first because
Of course, you're the one. Why aren't you the one who wants to go first? Your dark vision's so good.
what if there's a scary thing in there? I'll go first. I want to cast the cantrip Dancing Lights, and
Okay.
make, I think, like 3 or 4 little globules of light dance around Balthus's head.
I
Thank
believe
you.
you can make those colored, can't you?
I sure can. I mean, it doesn't say, but I think so. Yeah,
okay.
I'm gonna
Do
make-
if you want.
some purple, some purple and
so
pink
everything-
dancing lights.
You know what?
and
That
they're
is so fun because in the giant map of the dungeon that I have in front of me, I have purple highlighter like on a bunch of it. So I think it's actually meant to be that this
meant to be.
place has a purple ominous glow.
No, it's well, maybe the cave has an ominous glow. My dancing lights are super adorable, and they like float around his head in a little like crown.
Beautiful.
Yeah, and I'm gonna go ahead. And I do have a rapier, I think, so I'm not gonna take it out, but I'm gonna keep my hand on it, and then in one hand I'm holding my kazoo threateningly.
So you make your way in. As you squeeze through the rocky entrance, the room quickly opens up before you. You take that first step in past this, kind of the smallest part of the tunnel, and you squeeze in and your foot clacks onto these kind of blue-green tiles that are on the floors. They only seem to last a few feet before it kind of scatters out into dirt and stone, and looks something more natural. And it's just an empty stone room with this kind of tile entrance flooring, and there's an exit that kind of curves off into the east.
This is weird. You guys see that on the floor?
Yeah, I guess Oliver comes after hearing that Miria's.
Yeah, I assumed you guys were gonna take a line.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah, point at the tile.
Do we recognize the material? Is this something like an, I guess, perception or investigation?
I think investigation, if you're gonna try to look for material and everything.
Yeah, just like what this might be from. It's not looking good. Oh, that's an 11. Okay, I did not know I had +4.
It's ceramic. It's a light blue color that, is obviously done for fashion. It's not the natural color of whatever this mineral is. But you don't really know a ton other than that, I mean, you're not super familiar with this country. Maybe this is just the type of tile they have in things, or maybe it's not. You know what I mean? Like that's
Yeah.
it's here.
Do they have does it abruptly stop like it's intentional, or is it broken off? And does the place look like anybody's been there recently?
So it looks like there was a tile. This room was almost starting to be tiled, and they started at the entrance, and they were kind of spreading out, and then they kind of stopped halfway through this room, and just there's some tiles kind of scattered throughout the rest of it that aren't attached to the flooring. Either that, or this room was maybe once fully tiled, and someone ripped up half of it. So you can't really tell like that, but that's kind of the how the tiles are placed. Is almost like you're walking on a tile floor to begin with, and they kind of dissipate as you go further into the room.
What are
what was the other part you needed there?
I was gonna ask, does it look like anybody's been here recently?
You want to make an investigation check?
I sure do.
Yeah.
Investigate. Well, I got an 8.
You can't really tell. There's stuff in here. There's stuff. I mean, there's loose stones, and there's maybe marks in the dust or dirt and stuff on the walls, but like any of the kind of refuse that's in here, the junk in the corners, it could be placed by a human, or it could have been by an animal. It could have been dragged in by something else.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Oliver, were you going to say something?
What are the walls and like ceiling looking like?
So it looks like it's carved out of a natural stone. It's a pretty light material. And yeah, there is no kind of attempt at doing the walls in here. So it's just kind of pockmarked, old kind of stone. So they've been carved here for a while.
And at the end, there's an exit.
Yeah. It's this kind of skinny, curving tunnel that heads off to the east. Yeah.
I guess we should keep going.
Yeah. So as you kind of go through this tunnel, it goes for maybe 10 feet before it opens up into a wider area. So right across from you, you have, kind of this hallway, and you can either go south. There looks to be a room with stalagmites that are on the floor. Tights are top.
Tights are top. Yeah,
tights are top.
Tights are on the floor. Yeah.
Got it.
Why every Dungeons and Dragons person gets confused by stalactites and stalagmites. And up, you just kind of see the passage continue off into the east.
So there's 2.
Yeah, there's 2 choices for ways to go.
2 choices for ways to go.
A smaller chamber with stalagmites to the south, and the kind of northeast curves off, and you can't really see some of the detail in there right now.
We have a decision to make, folks.
Are either of them changing in elevation? Like, is one going up?
Yes, actually. So the smaller room with the stalagmites is flat. But if you go to the northeast, you're going to be moving upwards.
I feel like up seems
reasonable.
I agree.
Yeah. Okay.
To the east and up we go.
So you head up into the east, and you can hear the little drip, drip of moisture kind of along the ceilings, and it's kind of hitting the stone elevation here, and it's a little bit hard to move. So I'm going to have everyone do a dexterity check to move through this area, because it's actually difficult terrain on these slick incline of rock.
I got a 17.
Same with here.
I got 11.
11. So Miria and Balthus, you guys make your way up to the top, and Oliver, for the second time today, you're walking and your feet are making just no movement, no upward velocity, and you're just so frustrated, like running in place.
Um, I try to keep my cool about it at first. Like, it's just like, oh, I'm just going at a slower pace than you guys. But as it gets like a little bit more desperate, I eventually look to the two of you and go,
Oliver,
can I get a little help?
you need help? Yeah, I come down and I am just going to try and like pull with both arms and help him up.
Why don't you make another dexterity check with the disadvantage?
I make a dexterity check with disadvantage?
Yeah, Oliver is not going to make it. This is your burden for carrying Oliver is...
Well, my first one was a 20, but my second one was a 4. So that's 4 plus 3. So I got a 7 to help him.
So you make your way down and you're like, see, this will be easy. And you're trying to like hold both of Oliver's hands and walk up backwards up it. So now you're just also slipping in place and walking kind of like, and you guys are maybe like halfway up this incline at this point. Like Oliver, you weren't making no progress, but your progress was very slow. Miria is like, oh, I'll help you. And you are now going even slower.
I'm like a little kid
You're still going. You're still getting somewhere. It's just, it's a sight to see.
Can you loopy time?
Loopy time indeed. I guess I try to toss the rope to Balthus.
Yeah, I guess so. I'll see what I can do. I get my hand out ready to catch it.
Okay, is this another dex roll?
Oh boy, dex roll. Let's go.
Oh, this is a 20. It's
19.
Not a natural,
yeah,
but
we're good. Yeah.
Yeah, you guys can all make it up.
Woot, woot.
This incline. A little bit worse for wear, like mud around the edge of your trousers. I was going to say, so did you activate the ring today or were you using leftover rope from before?
Leftover rope, but is that okay?
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay.
Just want to make sure once you use it, you only have the hour to actually be taking rope out of it, right?
Mm-hmm.
So you can work out the logistics of making sure that we're doing that correctly. But yeah, I don't want you to feel like you have unlimited rope is not something I would give you so early in the game. It is.
Okay. It can be from the ring if you want. If you prefer, it's from the ring rather than.
No, it's fine. If you just have a piece of rope that you're using. But I just want to know when you're saying loopy time, if you're activating the ring.
Oh yeah, sorry. I will stop saying loopy time.
Anytime we use rope, loopy time, and.
Okay, yeah, I'll try to be more mindful of that.
Just let me know. Keep track of it. So you walk in to this next room, and it opens up into this cavern that's maybe 20 feet wide. There's kind of a big pillar of stone that goes through one corner, and the walls are covered in moss of all different shapes and sizes and colors and textures, just kind of padding all of the walls and the ceiling around here. It's creeping onto the floors a little bit, but there is kind of a pathway that's well walked actually through here.
No, you can go first.
Can I do a nature check to see if any of this moss is at all similar to the mushrooms or fungi we found?
Yeah, absolutely.
I was about to do that, yeah.
Do you want to help? Do you want to do your own just in case?
Sure, yeah.
Are you doing your own or are you, wait.
You want to do your own or you can help Oliver? You can either give Oliver advantage or you can roll your own.
I can, we can both like roll different ones. Maybe we see different stuff. I don't know. I got a 17.
I got a 15, so.
Okay, yeah. There is a little bit here, but it's not a lot. It actually looks like the majority of this is pretty natural, normal moss, but it is unusual that there are so many different types. It'd be one thing for this to be kind of like, one type of moss that's common to this area that, lives in this cave. But I mean, some of these mosses need kind of different levels of humidity. Like, you're not super familiar. You're not the fungus expert, but it is kind of
fungus expert.
Moss is not a fungus, I don't think.
Moss is not a fungus
Wise words
for
from
sure.
our fungus expert.
And that's why I'm not a fungus expert either.
Thank you, fungus expert. Yes.
Oh, welcome. Yeah, Miria has immediately begun touching all the moss and like feeling all the different textures and looking at the colors, be like, wow, pretty.
Yeah. Why not?
That's all. And then, after a bit of that, I suppose we can go on. I want to collect just a little piece of different colors of moss.
Yeah, why don't you make an investigation check?
Yeah. That is a 16.
16?
Yeah.
Yeah, you make your way through and you find a lot of different types of mosses and you feel pretty satisfied that you've gotten a good amount of what's there.
Multicolored moss in my inventory. All right.
Fungus.
Miria, may I ask if there's any dangerous moss for us we shouldn't touch?
Is there dangerous moss? Well, there's not a lot of moss in the Underdark except for in closer to the surface where they've got more. Moss is not a fungus. Fungus is a different sort of, in a different kingdom entirely. Moss is a plant, unless I'm completely wrong and CJ doesn't know that.
They sound right to me.
You wouldn't know.
Yeah, exactly.
I certainly don't.
Yeah, exactly.
Within this world, it is for sure true.
Sure.
Yeah. But if you see any more of the yellow stuff, don't touch that. That does weird things.
Yeah.
Onward.
Yeah, onward.
You go through, again, it's this kind of like these skinny little tunnels that Balthus, you're a bigger guy, you're kind of having to shoulder your way through. You can fit, but like just barely.
Yeah.
Into these wider taverns, these kind of more open areas. So you do that again, you go through this next area, and there's a kind of little alcove off to the side. The whole cavern kind of makes a big U-turn in the shape of this cave, kind of turns around, right? And you can walk in, and as you are taking these kind of steps, you see these little spiders, just a couple little spiders come up to you. And as you look at them more closely, you realize that they are, it looks like they're like a skull. Like it looks like a tiny little human skull that legs are growing out of. And there are a couple of them that are rushing at you. So I would like everybody to roll initiative, please.
Yeah.
Nat 20
Nice.
with a plus a 1, but nat 20.
Nice. So I'm assuming you're going to be first. I haven't rolled for my spiders yet. I got 5. And 8. All right, so anyone have 20 to 15?
I have 15.
15 to 10?
13.
All right. So there are 3 spiders coming at you. And Oliver, you are first in the order.
I don't want to use, I feel like magic missile is something I want to save for later. There's still like moss here.
The moss is kind of faded out. It was really weird. It was like that room specifically, the moss was growing in.
So but there's none?
There are occasional wet corners, but it is really nothing like the room before. Like it was mostly barren walls in here.
Okay, but firebolt would not set a lot of moss on fire. Oh, I guess if it's wet, but
Yeah. No, I don't think firebolt would set anything on fire in here. In fact, this whole cave system is a bit moist.
Okay, that makes sense.
Sorry about using the word, but
Counter.
Then how many? So, am I rolling to hit like a singular spider? Like how do we want to approach this?
yeah, these are singular creatures.
Okay.
They are big for spiders, but not human soul size. They are definitely pretty small, but we are going to roll them separate.
Okay, that sounds good.
A swarm.
What?
It's not a swarm.
Okay. Then I'm gonna try to cast Firebolt. And that was an 18.
To hit? Yeah, that hits.
Yeah. And then it's just 1d10 fire damage.
Hit me.
7.
7. This first spider, it definitely like fried under that heat. Its legs are still twitching. So those spiders are kind of arranged in a kind of like a V format heading you. So maybe you hit the one right in the front there, and it's slowed down, but it's actually still.
How many spiders?
There's 3.
3. Okay.
There are other kind of like, you can see maybe there's like baby spiders kind of in the back of this room, but these are the 3 that kind of approached you and are taking a problem with you. Balthus, next in the order.
I do my ice fire breath. Oh wait, are there any cobwebs like lying around, or is it just spiders?
Just spiders as far as
Okay, cool. Just wanted to check. I didn't want to set any do like a massive blaze or whatever.
Well,
yeah, I want to.
You breathe ice, so you're never gonna set anything on fire.
Never mind. I keep thinking it's like ice fire. I think it's. I never mind. Okay, so I do that.
It's just ice.
My bad. Anyway, I do that.
Yeah, you have a cone. I believe your breath is a cone.
Yes.
So you could probably hit all 3.
Okay. Where am I? So 1d10. And wow, that's a perfect 20. And then the actually no, it doesn't matter. Yeah. Okay.
So you have to roll damage.
Okay, so
you're gonna roll 2d6.
2d6.
And I'm gonna make a saving throw. That's based on your level.
Okay, so
8 plus your Constitution modifier plus your proficiency bonus.
8 plus the Constitution, which is there it is. Plus the proficiency bonus, which is 3. So 12, 3, and then 5. So yeah.
All right. So I need to make a Constitution save because I'm saving from ice.
Okay.
So it should. Can you remind me that number again? Sorry.
My Constitution is 12. It says here. With the modifier.
Yeah. What's my DC? What am I trying to beat?
15. There we go.
15. All right.
Yeah.
So that was a natural 1. So that one failed.
Mm-hmm.
And that was an 8. And that was a 6. So I am retiring this die for now. And all 3 of them fail. And then how much damage do I take?
What's that? Strength plus.
So you should be doing 2d6.
Okay, cool. Again, all right. So to what is that? 12. Yeah, modifier's 4, so 16.
You rolled 2 6s on
on 2d6s, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So.
Did you roll? You rolled 2 6s on 2d6.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, that does it.
Awesome.
All of these spiders just suddenly freeze in place in these kind of little, almost like sculptures, as you just hit them all with this frozen cone. And that is out of initiative. Miri did not even have to do anything.
Nice.
Can I go investigate the little frozen spider bodies?
Yeah, go for it.
Good idea.
And that is a 16.
What are you investigating for?
I want to see if, I live in the Underdark. I'm familiar with spiders. Are these like a monster I would know of? Are these an altered sort of creation?
Yeah. So with an investigation check, you can look at them, kind of see just like how they're joining together. Right. It's the top part of a human skull, so we don't have the mandible. but like even the ridges where teeth should be coming out, kind of the legs are growing out of there in a way that's so almost like seamless with the skull design. You kind of wonder if it could really be natural, if it's kind of lined up so perfectly with obviously something that was it's a human like skull, but it's way smaller, right? So there are some things about this that just kind of don't add up. You're not familiar with this kind of being.
Did you have more you wanted?
I would like to take one of the spiders that is frozen and put it in my pack.
Okay. You have that now.
Add that to my equipment. Creepy.
Maybe just make a note of when you pick it up.
Yeah.
Because it might go bad.
Okay, yeah. Creepy, gross, tiny skull spider.
And could I come over and make an Arcana check?
Yeah, absolutely.
That's a 15.
15. This is an undead of some sort.
Okay.
You can't really tell any more about it, but that's kind of the feeling you get just from trying to, kind of check what kind of magic is dealing with it. It's undead.
All right. Yeah, that sounds good. Well, it just sounds bad, but
that sounds great. All right. As you stand here, cave walls, spider skulls, I'm going to have you guys level up.
Woo.
And next time, we're going to take on the rest of this dungeon.
Let's do it.
Cool. Thank you, everybody, so much for coming and watching us play D&D today. You can follow us on Twitter and Instagram at Phantasmal D&D. Please subscribe and hit us up on social media if you have any questions or if you are interested at all. We'd love to hear from you. So have a great day, and we will see you next time on Phantasmal Forest.